Eric, what are you doing there, mate? There's no place to hide. Well, I said, if I can't see you, you can't see me. Maybe. I don't know. What do you reckon about that, eh? Oh, Erich ist wieder da. He's back. Comes back once a year. Hangs around for a few weeks. Scratches on around under the house and does a bit of mating, I suppose, although I only ever see him. So I don't know what's going on with that. Well, what do you reckon, Tilly? You'll get a bloody sore nose, mate. Come on, chick. Out you come. Out you come. Look on. Good afternoon, everybody. Just taking the Bavarian girl. Actually, she's a Spandau girl. For a quick lap. It's a rather stupid story today. You know those sort of 5-minute jobs that take 2 days? And we go up the dirt road to warm the motor up a bit before we head out into the wilds of the hectic peak hour traffic. Oh, some skippies up there. The local girls and boys. They're used to us walking around here, not on the bike. Make sure there's no others, instead of gazing off into the paddocks. So I decided I couldn't take the clock not working on the other instruments any longer. So I've got, like, you know, three other instrument pods. So I decided, well, you know, the original one, all the glass or the perspex was crazed from it being sitting outside in the heat, I would think, for some time, which is in keeping with all the other issues that I've had with it, in some, not all the issues, but some of the issues. So I had then put on I put on the instruments that I'd had for the silver bike. Which all worked fine except for the clock. So I took them off, put another set on, and everything worked fine on that one except there was no tacho. So I took that off, and this is like, you know, you got to pull the headlight off and everything to be able to get there to do it. So I pulled that off and put another set on, and the clock didn't work on it either. So what I ended up doing, which is what I should have just done in the first place, that's how it works. That's how it works with me anyway, because I'm a bit of a twit at times. Not a mechanical or you know, electrical. Sorry, just the sun's right in my eyes here. Genius, you know. So I did what I was supposed to do in the first, what I should have done in the first place, and that was I went back to the original instrument pod that came with it, which is this one, and pulled it apart, pulled another one apart, and swapped the Perspex, you know, glass coverings, what do you want to call them. So that's where we're finally at. We're just testing to make sure everything actually works. And it would appear that everything does work. One of the instrument pods that I put on looked like, when I put it together and tested it on before actually, you know, bolting everything in or screwing everything in, it all looked like it worked perfectly. But then it turned out the trip meter didn't work either. You can't go riding around the place out here without a trip meter, you know, just keep an eye on your mileage and stuff, especially with a sidecar. So now we're back to the instrument panel that should be on it. Now you can tell this is an LT cluster because it's got the LTs were often used as police bikes or military bikes, so they've got the extra integers on the speedo for gauging, you know, other motorist speeds, roughly, I guess. You can only call it roughly, couldn't you? So I'm quite happy about that. I also reinstalled the 2 fuel warning light bulbs. They always used to really annoy me, but living out here now where it can be a fair way between fuel, I mean relatively speaking, nice to have a bit of an idea. These two lights here, one tells you when there's 7 litres left in the tank, and one tells you when it's 5. Now how accurate that is I don't know, but it's some kind of indication. I mean the one on the Triumph, you know, it wasn't terribly accurate, but at least it was pessimistic, so it said you'd run out long before you actually did. So that was good. Now, how accurate this would be, I don't know. And it's a bit odd to have, like, you know, 7 litres and then 5 litre warning. They better just have them one for 5 litres or something. Now, whether they work or not, I don't know. I guess I'll have to wait till the fuel goes down a bit more than it is. But that'll be handy as well. I'm just happy to have that thing back on. After it gets dark tonight, I'll take it for another ride and just see what the instrument lighting's like. I didn't touch it, and I can't remember what it was like on the bike anyway, because I probably didn't ride it after dark actually. I very rarely do. I can put the LED ones in there if I need to. We'll see how that goes. Wasn't all that impressed with the LED ones, if you remember that little test I did, you know. So hey, what's going on there? That was silly. Actually found a neutral, a false neutral. Never done that on a K bike before, I don't think. Just go up here a little way and then turn around and come back. Ooh, big pothole. It's just getting to that slightly awkward time of day where the sun's sort of coming into my left side. It's a bit hard to see what's going on. The days have been beautiful lately, just the last week or two. It's now that, you know, we've sort of had a break from the sort of minor rain events, if you want to call them that. Not sure what's quite going on here. The nights are cooling off a bit, like I think it was about 0 last night. Still haven't actually seen a frost yet, which is really unusual. Like, it's getting towards the end of July now, and no frost. And the days, like today's about 17 or 18 or something, which is just really pleasant for winter. You know, when I was doing this, I just had it out the front of the house and worked on it in the sun, you know. I suppose we better turn around somewhere and go home. Seeing as we has the house wide open with only Keith to guard it. I mean, look how green it is. It's ridiculous green. This looks like a decent place to turn around. Anyway, you know, so everything seems to work, which can only be a good thing for the game. And you know, we'll call it a winner-winner chicken dinner. Yeah, so I said we'll take a quick look up the road later on, see what I don't even know whether the headlight's actually working. There's something going on with that too. The low beam connection's not great, so I'll have to have a look at that as well. Oh, yep, we've got a headlight. Can only be a good thing for the sport. Right, Tilly, let's go home. Tilly's just had a bath before. Something she doesn't really enjoy. But we're going off to Cops tomorrow, late tomorrow. And be a long road trip. It's about 1,000 k's from here to my mate's place, or to Cops itself, something like that. So it's a fair drive, have to leave early. early in the morning. I'll probably leave about 3 o'clock. I probably won't get there till about 3 o'clock because it's not a an easy, it's not a fast drive as in freeways or whatever. There's a bit of that, but that's sort of nearly, it's in the last part of the trip, you know. So that'll be fun. I'll catch up with my mate Mark and my other mate Paul. We've known each other since, well, I've known Paul since about 1979, end of school anyway. He was going out with my mate Roddy's sister Cindy at that time. He had left school, and I was in like, you know, sixth form sort of thing, and I ended up going out with Cindy for about 6 years later on, when I moved from the coast down to Sydney, where everybody had moved, you know. So I ended up going down there as well. You know, we've been mates for, yeah, you know, however long that is. Ugh. Love a good corrugation or two. Should have a proper look. So yeah, like all three of us, you know, we've done a lot of motorcycling together, travelling together, drinking, partying sort of thing, you know. So it'll be great to catch up with them. They're the only people I play cards with anymore. We just play euchre or, you know, 500 or something. And we've always played cards, you know, which is just deal them up. Deal them up. At one stage, you know, Mark and I and Alex and Rick were all sharing a house in Darlinghurst in the inner city of Sydney, and big old terrace house, you know. And Paul lived in Paddington, wasn't far away, so he'd come over and we were always playing cards and drinking and carrying on. And you know, it's great when you're young and you can get up and go to work the next day and it doesn't matter. It doesn't bother you. Now it takes me 2 days to get over it. But so we'll play euchre or something and drink beer, eat buffalo wings that I'm going to take with me, and with some Frank's hot sauce. My mate Jimmy, who was from Syracuse, New York actually, when we shared a place in Leipzig with me and John and I, and we all, he used to bring like a quart plastic bottle of Frank's sauce, and it's the only one to have with wings as far as I'm concerned, you know. He introduced us to it, and now you can buy it in Australia, not in big quart bottles, but you can buy it, you know, enough to do a good batch of wings or whatever. So we'll do that. Probably play dice. We play a game called Zilch, which is not a gambling game, it's just a game, keep score and whatever. And we play that. I actually play that on Facebook Messenger with John, Jim and Chris. We're all people who used to live in Leipzig, and I taught them how to play that game in the early 90s. And so it's a good way for us to keep in touch. We just get our phones out, have a turn and video it, send it on Messenger, and just play. It can take months, you know, to have one game. You got to get to 10,000 points, blah blah blah. If you fail to score 3 turns in a row, you lose 1,000 points, etc., etc. But it's a good way to keep in touch, you know, and gossip, and we just sort of, you know, one of us, Chris, is still in Leipzig. Now, he'll be there for the rest of his life. He's English originally. John now lives in Sheffield. He was originally from Leicester, I think. Traffic. Pretty sure the speedo on the one that I had on yesterday was a bit optimistic. We might leave this out the front and take it for a lap after dark just to see. I have to readjust the headlight because I've had it on and off about 20 times in the last couple of days. So anyway, yeah, looking forward to catching up with my mates. Tell a few lies, all that. My mate Paul, he still rides an old, I don't know what, it was about 74 model Guzzi Ambassador that he bought when he was living in California. An ex-police thing, you know. And my mate Mark's got a 67 Triumph Saint single carb ex-police bike. Plus he's got a Fat Bob, a new one, like a Milwaukee 8 thing, which I don't think he rides very much at the moment. It's hard to get out and ride all the time if you're living by yourself, and he lives not similar to me, but not the same. He's, you know, his house is not an old bush shack, although it's getting there. Yeah, we're home again. Righto, might have to go for a stroll, will we? So yeah, quick evening test ride. Just to see how, I'll have to readjust the lights, headlight. I just want to see what these instrument lights are like. Not too bad. Just go up the dirt road, let the motor warm up a bit. Oops. And then pop out the Forbes Road just for a kilometre, you know. It would appear that the clock is working and holding time, so that's good. I don't know what I just did then. Oh, the trouble with this bike, it's I don't know it well enough to there we are. To find the switches in the dark yet. There's my place, the Bush Shack. I think the headlight's probably about right, isn't it? It's cool this evening. Quite cool. I guess maybe we might get a frost in the morning. It's funny, isn't it? You know, you get old, I guess, or whatever. You just sort of. I've had these kind of, you know, headlights for donkey's years on old Triumphs and stuff like that. You know, so I think I just know where to put them nowadays. Look at that sunset at the end of the sunset. Fogging up the visor. Put some heated grips on. So yeah, I think it's telling the right time. So winner chicken dinner, as my brother Tim used to say, which I'm sure I guess he got from his kids or something years ago. Oh. Yeah, so that's good. I'm happy about that. Now that I finally, you know, a bit thick at times, can't I? Should have just done that in the first place. They're not too bad, those instruments. You can read them all right. I think they're actually better than the LED replacements. They're not very green as such. They're a bit more yellow than green, but I can live with that. Yeah. So we're slowly getting ready for a road trip up to my mate Mark's place. He doesn't actually live at Coffs. He lives at Missabody, which is, you know, I don't know, half an hour or so south of Coffs, behind the coast, in the hills behind the coast. A beautiful spot. Beautiful spot. I mean, I suppose on my older videos on the Triumph and possibly on the old girl, there's a couple of going there on the bike, you know, videos. Beautiful days, cool evenings. It hasn't been freezing cold yet, so you get the feeling we're going to go there. But I'm looking at the weather forecast for Mark's place. It's going to be at least 10 degrees warmer at night there, because it's near the coast, you know, north coast of New South Wales. Just doesn't get that cold, although he thinks it gets cold. The same as Paul, you know, he lives behind Byron, in the hills behind Byron. And they both have fireplaces and stuff, and you know, got him, yes. There it is. Could possibly turn the headlight down a millimetre or something, but maybe not. I think it's probably good the way it is, actually. And I'll leave that and call that a win as well. finding every bump on the road. It's the way. It's the way to do it. Car over there somewhere. Coming in from Forbes. So it doesn't take long to soften up as far as cold weather riding goes. I mean, spent years riding around the New England, which is genuinely cold, you know, for Australia. Riding in the snow occasionally, things like that. And we'll just turn around here, I guess. Now, James and Elise are either very late taking their Christmas decorations down, or they're very early. I suspect it's the first one. It's cute though. It's cute, isn't it? I wonder if these lights actually work. No, well, the bike's set up, you know, slowly getting to where I want it to be. Heater grips, a couple of sets of panniers, all the instruments are now working properly, the clock works. You know, the gentleman's tourer is taking shape. Not that I'll probably ever ride it that very far anymore. Getting a bit long in the tooth. Well, it's not so much that, it's Keith. I can go away for 1 or 2 nights and he's alright for that. And Bernie, my neighbour, lives about 8-10 k's away. He comes over and checks on him and checks on the house for me while I'm away. And I'll be away this week, but I'll only be away 2 nights. Leave very early Wednesday morning, about 3 o'clock or something, and get home about 1 or 2 o'clock on Saturday morning. Pretty tractable, this engine, isn't it? I was doing 60 k's in top gear there. It's not that long ago that I did the last test of this bike at night. It's not long ago, it's only a few months ago. There were rabbits and stuff running out on the road and stuff, and now there are none. And I've noticed there are none around the house and the home and the bush at the end of the street and stuff, which is interesting. They just don't seem to be around, and I don't know why that is. Where's the fucking, there it is. Don't know why that is. I'm so used to riding around in the bush I forget to use the blinkers half the time, which is a bit naughty. Anyway. Oh, the horn works. Where's the bloody... Oh, there it is. Okay, I'm looking too far. Too low for it. Trying to put the bike away and cook myself some dinner. Actually, I'm going to have calamari this evening. Squeak, squeak. Fuel pump's noisy tonight. Must be getting low on the fuel, which means maybe these, oh, who knows. I'll just keep riding it for a while. Keep riding it for a little while until we find out. Natürlich doch aufklären. Das reicht aber jetzt, ne? Update on the old girl. I sent away for a bloody top-end gasket kit. 6 weeks later, it hadn't showed up. So I ended up having to get in touch with eBay and demand this bloke send it or what, and he didn't reply, so eBay just sent me a refund, so I've got to now order. Stop. I've got to now order another one. This is really annoying, but I'll do that when I come back from coughs.